Looks like you're first. Tried to start it horizontal, but not quite sure why it wouldn't start, but we'll let some people get in here before we start chit-chatting away. We are snacking on Pringles, pizza flavored. These are a good flavor. And then raspberry or black raspberry LaCroix. They all taste the same at the end of the day. Last camping trip of 2024, guys. Hard to believe it's the last one. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it. Oh, guys, the light is horrible. Let's see if we can. Is that better? Oh, there we go. Wow, this light. Any thoughts on the GFC V2 camper versus Super Pacific? Your SP looks awesome with the Goose Gear build. Thank you, Matt. So I've seen the GFC V2 Pro in person a couple times. I think they fixed a lot of the issues that people were having, including myself with the last one. I was actually supposed to go down and do a test on, like, take a camper out for a bit from Hatch Adventures down in Bozeman. Still have to maybe set that up. But yeah, the V2 Pro, they probably fixed a lot of the issues. I think the only thing that they're struggling with right now is actually getting a lot of the products into the hands of the consumer. I know people are still waiting for like a headliner, the lights, and or the new tent insert, for example. People that have the older model, they've ordered that stuff months ago and it still hasn't arrived. So I don't know what their issue is there. Yeah, since I haven't used it, I can't say for sure, but it seems like people are, for the most part, pretty happy with it. Am I taking a short break? I will be gone for a vacation / trip for most of December, and I'll get back into Montana around the 1st. So I'll be leaving next week, and yeah, won't be able to make videos, obviously. So this will be the last trip of 2024. Also, I think this is probably around night, I'd have to look at my notes, but probably around night 115 in the Super Pacific for this year, which is crazy. So last year when I had the GFC, I spent about 77 nights in that, and we're at about 115 in the Super Pacific this year. Have I seen a Yeti? Not yet. We're right on the beach right now. You guys might be able to see. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but that's a lake in the background. We're surrounded by sand right now. For dinner tonight, we are making a dish on the scuttle. So tortellini, creamy steak pasta, something like that. I found the recipe on Facebook, actually, screenshotted it, and that's what we're gonna end up making. Also brought biscuits to maybe make in the Dutch oven. That's why we've got a fire going right now. We're gonna actually let some hot coals develop in the bottom. I also brought cinnamon rolls for the last camping trip of the year, depending on how hungry I am. And if I don't make the biscuits, then we'll probably do the cinnamon rolls on top of that. Do I have a favorite season to camp? I will say at the end of summer and kind of towards the end of fall, I'm definitely ready to camp in winter. But then at the end of winter and going into spring, I'm ready to camp in the summer. Every season has pros and cons, and I love something about every season. I hate something about every season. The one thing with winter camping is it's hard to get to certain locations, which, again, you know, if you're trying to get to a spot maybe you can get in the summertime, just with the roads, snow, closures, sometimes you can't get to those spots in the wintertime. Diesel heater, how hard was it to do, and would I do it over again? Yeah. I think if the camper has a pass through, so this is outside of Super Pacific, if you have like a Topo Toppers, I think an AT Overland, something where you can actually like have the bed exposed, I think it makes sense. Something like the GFC, I don't know if I would have done this style of heater. I probably would just keep rocking my first generation heater that I had, which is in the Apache case. I think that's perfect. Yeah, so diesel heater itself is awesome. I did replace the heater. I had the Pro, now I have the Alpine. Lavinier sent that out, the new model, which is incredible. I really like that one. There was nothing wrong with the Pro. It did get buildup inside of it, mainly my issue of running it incorrectly, basically overfueling it at certain elevations. But I cleaned that heater out and actually threw that into an Apache. So if I ever have a friend that's camping, they need a diesel heater, now they have one that they can use. But this thing is fantastic. I love that it heats the downstairs, the upstairs. I can drop gear down here. Odie sleeps downstairs and it's completely dry. So it's awesome. So no Yeti, no Ligma either. Yes, I am in Montana. So we are north of Whitefish right now. We're actually up near Eureka. With the diesel heater intake, do you prefer it? All of it. So yeah, guys, it's been an awesome year this far. YouTube has really taken off. I kind of talked about this in the last video, but really YouTube has been something I've been focusing on only for really the last year. So to see the growth in the last year, it's been awesome. If you guys are looking to get started on something like this, definitely just start. Like that's honestly anything in life. I think if you're just trying to figure out where to start, like the biggest thing is you just got to start doing it. Work remotely or just the weekend trips? Always wondered what you did for work, fitness industry. Yeah, Matt. So I'm in the fitness industry right now still. Really phasing out of that, to be honest. I'm applying towards other jobs. So obviously trying to apply in the outdoor industry. I've applied for Gaia, which is a competitor to Onyx. I've applied for Onyx multiple times. Nothing has actually happened with Onyx, which is pretty frustrating. But applied for Gaia, applied for other outdoor industry jobs. There's definitely stuff out there. It just has to find a fit that is good for me. Obviously with outside, so a video that I actually want to maybe make is just like the income side of YouTube, because I think that is something maybe not a lot of people really talk about. YouTube is a good source of revenue, but there's also brand collaborations, and that also pays for a good portion of like income and stuff that I make. So to just give you guys a rough idea, UGC content, user generated content, is content that you may not see on the channel, but it's content that I'll film. Brands will pay for that. They'll send the product out, I'll film it, and that may be ran as ads on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. But brand collaborations are another really good source of income if you're doing YouTube. And I think brands will also pay a lot more for YouTube collaborations versus Instagram collaborations as well. What's for dinner? So we're basically doing a tortellini pasta with steak, and it's gonna be like a creamy cheese sauce. I've kind of made something similar to it. This recipe was just on Facebook though. I was scrolling one day and saw a photo of it and decided to make it. So we'll have that. I also brought the biscuits as well, if I want to cook them in the Dutch oven. Excuse me. If I don't cook the biscuits, then I also have cinnamon rolls to possibly do as well. Haven't quite decided yet. guys have any other questions? Anything to discuss? Show you Odie. Come here. Love when you show the cooking. Like to see that. Yep, I'll be showing that tonight, filming that. How intense are the trails you're typically taking to the spots you get? Nothing super intense, to be honest. Most of the stuff that I get to, you could access with probably a stock Tacoma. There's very few trails that we go on where they definitely get a lot more difficult. Any trips out east anytime soon? I have no plans as of yet of going out east. Probably the next trip that I have planned is actually going down to Utah in spring. Haven't quite decided yet or when that will happen, but probably if the weather's good in February, I'll kind of go a little bit earlier before my 50-mile race and just do a little loop around there. And if the weather isn't good, maybe we try to make another trip down there in April sometime. Am I following a plan for the 100-mile race, working with a coach? Yes, 100%. So if you guys don't know, I have a 50-mile race, ultra marathon, that is coming up in February with the hopes of doing the Crazy 100 that is happening in July of next year. The Crazy 100 is literally a crazy race. Has about 23,000 feet of vert, over 100 miles, and you have 36 hours to complete. That is the cutoff period. So, yep, working with a coach. This week, I hit 43 miles total. Yesterday was a long run of 18 miles, and we're gonna build to about 61 miles at my peak for the 50-mile race. And yeah, I don't even want to know what the mileage will be for the 100, but it's pretty cool to see the body adapt from, like, I just started running in April. So running in April to now, you know, 7 months, 8 months of like pretty consistent training. It's awesome. My heart rate's a lot lower, and yeah, it's cool. Consistency pays off. Who would have thought? Trying to track down a topper, deck drawers, camp inside, rooftop tents. Yeah, so I ran deck drawers in the past. I know they released a new deck system. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but that's for a mid-size truck, so maybe for a full-size truck it's a little bit better. Also with the deck drawers, if you do a topper and then have the drawers in there, just think about all this space that you're also losing. So maybe look at doing, if you already have the deck drawers, you know, just think about that. But if you don't have deck drawers, maybe think about your setup and maybe doing a half of a deck or drawer setup in the rear. So ready for the Leadville 100. I almost entered the lottery for the Leadville 100, but getting into that race is also extremely difficult. And while the elevation gain isn't as much as the Crazy 100, it's the fact that you're running at 10,000 feet and higher is the hardest part of that race. So I think there's people that go into that just underestimate the impact of the elevation and running at that and just absolutely get obliterated. Do I do any meetups? You're in Colorado, Tacoma, GFC. Love to hit some trails. Looking to get up to Montana. Possibly doing a meetup maybe this summer. It seems like there's quite a bit of interest, and maybe we'll do a Rigs and Coffee with a potential group camping trip after that. I haven't quite decided, and also timing something like that to get an adequate amount of people in would be a little bit difficult, but maybe if we can plan something ahead of time and give folks enough notice, we could get something rolling. Hello from Glacier. Have I run into problems with running the camera in the cold? No. The only thing that happens is the camera batteries usually die a little bit faster, but I have filmed at like -5 with no issues. -5 degrees Fahrenheit, that is. No issues at all. The drone also, I've flown at -5 degrees Fahrenheit. I've flown at, 200 or 300 feet up in the air, which is definitely colder. The only thing with the drone though, is it will not let you take off if the batteries are cold. So definitely have to keep them inside the back with the diesel heater going. So when I go to bed at night and I know I'm gonna fly the drone in the morning, I make sure to keep the drone in the back of the truck during that time. I've also filmed in like the rain, the snow with the camera, and I just make sure that the lens has the seal. So when you buy the lens, it will tell you that or not. But the Sony camera is like pretty darn tough. I've, knock on wood, I've had no issues. Hello, Lost Boys. Mini 4 Pro was good at -70. FX3 has been nothing but perfect. Yeah, I had the Mini 3 Pro before, and I flew that was a drone that I flew in -5, and it was perfectly fine. Now I have the Mavic 3 Pro, but no issues with that either. The only issue is if you hit it with the truck when flying it, it doesn't like to fly anymore after that. Would I get a 4th Gen Taco? That's a tough question. Probably if I was to upgrade, like let's say something happened to the truck, probably tomorrow, yes, I would look at getting a 4th Gen, because the Super Pacific can actually fit. So if you guys don't know, the Super Pacific will fit all 4 generations of the Tacoma. With the 4th Gen, going from a 3rd to a 4th, they just have to do a little plate in the front and I believe in the rear. But with that, yes, I would just move to a 4th Gen at that point. Doing a whole new setup though, I would maybe look at a full size at that point, to be honest, and do kind of a different approach with that. What's the temperature there? Let's see. It's 40. So not too bad right now. Actually feels warm, believe it or not. 28 in Boston. Yeah, a little bit chillier there. I have not looked at the new Frontiers. They got talked about quite a bit when they got released, and now I feel like no one really talks about the Frontiers. So, have not. Dad has the older Frontier. Hasn't had any issues with that. But, yeah, I don't know. I think if I did a different platform than the Tacoma, probably would honestly look at the Ford Ranger Raptor. Those things are pretty damn sick looking. And they're fast. That's one thing. 3rd Gen Tacomas just don't have a lot of power. Sponsored by MKC? Nope. I've just done stuff for them. I modeled for this clothes, or this sweatshirt specifically, and then some other stuff when they dropped this. And Brandon over there has been very generous with supporting what I do as a content creator. So actually around this time last year, they hooked me up with the hatchets, the chef knife, and then the speed goat. So was super appreciative of that. Any good winter camping near Bozeman? You know, I haven't camped too much down in the Bozeman area during the wintertime. There's a lot of offshoot roads up by Highlight that I don't think a lot of people actually know about. And there's some darn good spots up there. I don't know what the roads are like in the wintertime, but in the summertime, there's some really good views. So everyone goes to highlight, but if you go off the path a little bit, you can find some great spots. Hello, New Jersey. If I was to upgrade to a full size, would I stick with Toyota? Yeah, most likely at that point. I don't really know what's out there. I mean, I haven't like looked at full size trucks recently. But yeah, probably would stick with a Toyota for sure. Hello, Flathead. Just up north of you right now. Would I ever want to make my own merch? Yes, it's been something that I've thought about, but I also don't know where to start, and I don't know what I would actually make for merch. I mentioned doing some stickers, I think, maybe just in the kind of as an intro to some merch. Maybe doing like a cartoon drawing of Odie and I is kind of what I've thought about for some first merch at first, but haven't quite decided what I want to do there yet. Hello, Linda. Welcome to the live. Overton, you can help with the stickers. You should shoot me an email. I would definitely be curious about that. The email is in obviously the YouTube bio, but just shoot an email to me with just your YouTube name in the subject line so I know. What do I think about the engine issues with the Toyota? So probably like the transmission is what you're talking about. Seems like the first generation of, or the first year of every new generation almost always has issues. Believe the 2016 third gens also had some issues. I would never buy the first year of a new generation. So just like with the Tundras, they had some of those issues. Seems like they've sorted those out. The Tacomas are going to have some issues as well. And I think after like a year or two, they'll definitely start to sort those issues out. But people want to jump on the trend and get the hype and be the first to own it. Hello, Owen. I am north of Whitefish, so we're up by Eureka actually right now. Drove up the 93. So actually, the second to last video that went live on the channel, we're north of that. We're camped next to the lake area. What's for dinner? We're cooking on the scuttle, so hopefully you're brushing up on your scuttle skills, because when we camp together, there's going to be a scuttle cook down. Tortellini, cheese tortellini with steak, creamy sauce, creamy cheese sauce, I should say. So that'll be going down, and got a fire going. Like I said, maybe we're going to cook some biscuits in the Dutch oven, and if I don't do that, then I have cinnamon rolls that we're gonna do. Yeah, the fire is, it's great right now. So probably start cooking here shortly. And because it is almost 6 o'clock. Everything takes longer. Everything takes longer when you're trying to film and cook. So I've kind of explained this in videos before, but a task that maybe takes 5 minutes could take 15 minutes when you're trying to do the task, change the camera angle, all of that. You know, some people think, oh, do you have a couple cameras that you set up in place? And no, I film just on the one camera. I do have the ability to film on both cameras, but everything is filmed just on one camera. So if you see a different angle and I'm in the same spot, that means I gotta walk all the way over there, get the camera, move the camera, set the camera. So not complaining, but it just takes a lot of extra time. Yes, I do have all-terrain tires on the truck. Studded tires are not banned in Montana. They are only allowed during certain times of the year. Odie is sitting off to the side right now. Here. There he is. He's been running around in the sand like crazy tonight. So I know he's gonna sleep well. Awesome, thanks for sending the email. I think I actually saw it on my watch, so I'll make sure to check that out after this. Odie is 3.5. Which is crazy. I've had him, yeah, over 3 years now. He was born May 14th in 2021. All right, guys. Any last minute questions, anything you want to see on the truck? Probably going to sign off here shortly. So like I said, this will be the last camping video of 2024. I might release another video. I haven't quite decided if I want to film just my thoughts and experiences after a year of being on YouTube. Would I do anything differently? Do I think it's worth it? The other thing that I've thought about releasing is just a really long video that's probably like an hour to 2 hours, just ASMR. Drone footage from the year, camping trips where obviously I'm not talking, and kind of just compile that footage all into one really long video. I know there's been a request to do more ASMR videos, and I want to. The only thing with doing ASMR videos is the ad revenue is horrible because there's no talking, and then that really just gets pushed out all over. So really companies don't want to pay to put ads on those videos as well. Austin, any big travel camping plans for next year? Probably the biggest one that I plan right now will be going to Moab at some point. Just haven't quite decided if I'm going to go around the race, which will be in February. It might still be a little bit, it really just depends on the weather. Like I don't want to camp when it's complete downpour, raining out there, but if it's, you know, mid 50s during the day, low 30s, 20s at night, then I'll definitely probably go a few days before the race to get some footage and videos. yeah, if you guys, I can keep the live going. Um, you can do that. I've got enough battery on here. I will do no singing. There is no karaoke out here. I can get Odie to dance, that is it. Camera rig is a A7S III. I'm shooting on the 17 to 28 Tamron right now, which is f2.8. It's actually sand. It's not dirt. There is no snow right here. Hello, Patrick. Running prep is going well. We did 43 3 miles this week, which is about the most that I've done. We're still building, and we'll build to about 60 miles for this block, and that will get me into the 50-mile race as well. So it's going well. The body is holding up. It's great. What am I hunting? I'm not hunting anything. Should I be hunting something? Should I be hunting Bigfoot out here? People are really fascinated with Bigfoot for some reason. You guys believe in Bigfoot? I swear, Patrick, people leave comments on videos asking if I see Bigfoot, and they're dead ass serious about it too. Just crazy. We just cooked up. Well, we didn't cook up. We cut up the elk, so we're using an elk steak tonight for dinner. Should be good. All right, I gotta check the water. right, guys, I'm probably going to end the live. I've got to refer to my phone for the recipe. So that's going to obviously disrupt things. But hopefully you have enjoyed this. I'll show you what we're cooking. So I'll show you real quick. This is elk, bell peppers, onions. We've got the tortellini in here. Just use this 5 cheese from Walmart. So that's what we're making. We've got heavy whipping cream. This is beef broth and Parmesan cheese. So it should be good. So we're gonna cook the tortellini in here first, and then we'll finish everything up on the scuttle, which will be fantastic. Thank you guys for joining, and hopefully you enjoy this video when it releases. Again, this will be the last camping trip of 2024. I might film another video, either just discussing my experience on YouTube after a year, maybe covering how much I've made on YouTube. Just, I don't know how many people are curious about that. And then also maybe do just a really long, like ASMR video of everything from the year. So we'll see. But again, thank you guys, and catch you in the next one.